Right now, I'm actually in my island called Eden, and everything you see here is like generated by teenagers.
People really recognize that we're living through a period of tremendous change in relation to our media practices and identities.
This is my avatar. It's decked out in a whole Global Kids t-shirt.
If you don't understand these very personal engagements and relationships, then you're not understanding the structure of how people are participating in public life today.
Actually, Silver, who just logged on, was one of the main creators. She made all the textures and the ground. These trees were created by my friends and just uploaded.
Part of Global Kids' mission is to develop young people who think of themselves as global citizens. So being able to think critically about how they're learning, how to be able to think about the credibility issues that are involved, how to be able to think about their responsibilities as media producers. How much do you share about yourself and to who?
Human Barometer is a really great way to get people's opinions on different matters. We have a host that relays a statement, and everyone that's participating will think about it a little bit and then go to one of the platforms. It turns into a little fun debate.
What virtual environments are providing is this extremely rich collaborative space, and they're able to develop a whole other set of skills around expression, civic participation, thinking about communities as something that they have an impact on and are empowered to change.
Game Star Mechanic is for creating video games. Like with my games, I always like to challenge people a little bit. I'll put in another enemy just to show.
Games are essentially problem-solving spaces, and it requires innovation, thinking out of the box, thinking laterally and not just linearly. In Game Star Mechanic, to play the game, you have to design games.
I've placed these blocks so that my character can move around them, and it can make it more difficult or easier depending on how many blocks you put. I mean, you just have to be inventive and have an imagination.
Not only do you get to see through the creator's eyes, you have to think at the same time in a fan's point of view.
And it actually gives you opportunities to fail. I often talk about this idea of the architecture of persistence, and that when kids game, they persist on a problem.
I just made this, but it's just a rough draft to see, where I'm going. The more you think about it, the more you work on it. If you don't believe in it, it won't be a great quality game.
We think that that's a core 21st century skill, to think like a designer, because we live in a world in which we design all sorts of intricate systems that interact with each other, sometimes with results that we don't anticipate that are catastrophic, and sometimes with good results. Designing a game is designing a complex system.
Well, we got the laptops in 7th grade. Everybody at my school gets a laptop. It's like a part of me. My mom always talks about, you're gonna break that laptop sleeping with it.
If urban kids have access to these resources, who do they become? And if we do an intervention that's different from what you might see in the suburban area, do they end up having the same sets of skills and experiences once they leave us? About 3 years ago, we said, well, let's get beyond the poster boards. They've done the research. Can kids prove their understanding of content through the creation of a documentary film?
When we did Living Museum, we worked on this project on Ida B. Wells, and we did a little 10-minute documentary. Ida B. Wells, a neighborhood created in 1941, had gotten out to a good start. It was all homes instead of high-rises. It was the place to be in Bronzeville. The final product and seeing what we created was just, I love that feeling, and that's how I got into the video thing. By simply pressing edit and clicking split.
This is the last project that we made together. It's a tutorial on basically the basic steps on how to use iMovie. Because there's a lot of kids, who are doing their Living Museum projects, they didn't have a clear understanding about how to make a movie.
You can create your video in the timeline by dragging the clips down into your timeline. By putting it on Remix World, which is their social network that they have, we made it accessible. And if they need help on how to do something, they could just go to it.
Yeah. You can upload your own videos that you've made or outside videos from YouTube, etc. and show those, you know, and usually they should have a message, you know, which is kind of like the point.
It's a social networking site, but it's a contained social networking site. So the conversations that you will see on Remy's World are much different than the conversations that you will see on MySpace or something.
In 2018, they're going to be 21 and 22, and the world is going to be different. And the question is how we prepare them to exist in that world.
The question isn't just do we use digital media or not. The question is how.
We have to produce people who are not just tech savvy, because there's plenty of people in other countries who are tech savvy. They have to be able to innovate. A book is technology, a pencil is technology. Any technology is neither good nor bad. It depends what you do with it.